Hello Gemini, this is Joe. I'm going to do your July 2020 General Tarot reading. I've already gone ahead and shuffled the cards to save some time so we can get right into it. And we are going to see what's happening for Gemini in July 2020. Bottom of the deck, we have the King of Cups. Nice. Alright. So we are going to see what's happening for you in July. So for your challenge, we have the Ace of Coins and the Circumstance Judgment. Now, keep in mind this is an intuitive reading, so it's not going to be for everybody. And I read cards upright unless I intuitively feel that they need to be read in reverse. I always apply the traditional meanings after I apply the intuitive meaning I feel that is coming through in the reading. So your challenge is the Ace of Coins, and the circumstance in July for you, the biggest thing that coming about in July is the card of Judgment, and we'll talk about these cards here in a minute, but we're going to flip them over and see what is happening. So in June, going into July, Three of Swords. Interesting. And what is it that you want out of your situation and your circumstance in July? You have the Four of Wands. Nice. You want victory, celebration. You want foundations, a new foundation perhaps. And what is in your subconscious with respect to this reading in July? The Three of Wands, waiting for your manifestations to come through in July. I think this represents something you've been waiting on a long time, especially with the Ace of Coins. You're waiting for a new feeling of stability and strength and durability in your life moving forward. But let's see what the outcome is. It is nice. The Nine of Cups, the Wish card. So whatever you're working on in July, and depending on when you're watching this reading, you could be watching this in June, but depending on when you're watching this, you probably have a measure of with this card being in the past position, which could represent where you're at right now, if that makes sense when you're watching this, the Three of Swords. So you're coming from a point of great disappointment, that feeling of loss, maybe just feeling like giving up, having been through a number of things that maybe were very painful, hurtful in a relationship, because you have the King of Cups here, and to me the King of Cups represents the theme of this Three of Swords. So it's heartbreak and loss in love and relationships. It could be a dissolution of a marriage or an engagement of some sort. But whatever it is, it does feel like to me that there was some kind of outfall in a romantic relationship. And, it's time to, in July, to just make the decision to move forward. Judgment is calling you to make a choice in July, and that choice is, what do you want for your life moving forward? What is it that you truly want? And the biggest challenge you have is the Ace of Coins. Well, what does that mean? So the Ace of Coins, this is about, to me, a promise of increased stability in the future. This is about that desire for increased stability in the future. And I think that you want that. The Four of Wands, to me, a lot of times can represent a celebration, accomplishment, but to me this represents wanting a new foundation, something solid moving forward in your near future. And the Nine of Cups there is the Wish card. So you really want these things in your life of the past to just go away. You want to forget the heartbreak and the heartache, and you want to quit looking toward the past and remembering the things that brought you some pain. I think this reading represents that you're through with that. You're done with that, Gemini. You really want to just go after life and live life to the fullest. That Nine of Cups really says to me that it is a part of your near future. It's not something that manifests overnight, but this is something that with the Ace of Coins you are going after, with the Four of Wands, the foundation that you're laying. And part of that in this Judgment card is making the decision to move forward and to push ahead. The Three of Wands is to me is an indication that you're looking a little further off into the future for what it is you want, because you know realistically that you have to work toward this next part, this next cycle of your life. In the advice, you have the Tower, so you have to be willing to let things fall away. So anything you're holding on to from the past memories, past feelings, grudges, anything like that, things that are a part of your life in July also that aren't really for your highest good, that aren't serving you, need to fall away. And sometimes the Tower, we are resistant to change, and that's why it can feel traumatic and unsettling. But this Tower is about change, so embrace the change moving forward in July. I think that it'll make things a little bit easier for you. What are the things that are influencing you outside of yourself, though? The Empress. So you very much might have children with an old relationship that is no longer intact, and I think to me the Empress is the mother of mother cards. It is about that motherly energy, and I don't really think kings and queens reflect actual genders in the tarot. It reflects the energy of a gender, feminine or masculine. So with the balance of this masculine and feminine energy, I do feel like this Empress represents the influence of maybe children in your life, younger people in your life that are a driving force behind you wanting to really pick up the pieces, the things that you can take with you forward and create something new. And the Tower really has to happen to let the old things just kind of dissolve and go away, Gemini. So I think this is a pretty good positive reading so far. So what is it that's in your hopes and fears, though? Let's have a look. You have the Four of Coins. I intuitively feel like this represents your need to be willing to let go of some things. You might be, because of past experience, holding on tightly to things that you are afraid to let go of. You might be afraid to spend money. You might be afraid to indulge in some things. You might be afraid to let go of any of your resources and put them toward things that you need or want. So I think the Four of Coins represents in this reading your a fear that you have of letting go of what you are accumulating moving forward, and that may come out of the situation with the Three of Swords. There may have been a substantial loss in a relationship, and not just the loss of the relationship, but a lot of times we get into long-term relationships and there's a blending of material things. And I think that this is a subconscious fear of yours, being afraid to let go of some things. And these might be things that, for example, you may not want to make a big purchase. You may not want to pay a large bill just because of the fear of releasing and letting go of that money. And I think this represents that subconscious fear that you have. I think you want to get out of that energy. I think that's something you're going to have to really work toward, and having faith in spirit and the universe, that it's okay to let go of your financial resources to put them toward things that are needed and even wanted in your life. Now the outcome, July. So what's happening in July for the outcome? Knight of Swords. This is awesome. I love this. Knight of Swords here is, well, this is not somebody that's wasting their time. This is like things have ended and you are really into the thick of a new beginning. You are in the fast-paced, fast-moving part of this new beginning, and this signals to me that you're quickly beginning to let go of the past and forget those things, because the Tower has taken some of those things away that have continued to linger around you for maybe a little too long and cause you a lot of uncertainty, or just things in your life were a constant reminder of the heartache, the pain, and the trouble that you have had to go through. So the Knight of Swords is having that courage to move forward, but not only that, just feeling charged, feeling empowered, and not afraid, because you probably get to the point where you embrace this new beginning and you start to see good things materialize out of this new start. So what do you have? All that glitters. All right, so this is pretty cool. All that glitters isn't gold, but not all that glitters has to be gold. There is so much value we can find in things in our life, and it doesn't have to be things that are expensive, material things that are of high value. I think you really have learned to value things for what they are, and not for what they're perceived to be. And I think also, though, you do treasure those very important things in your life. Some of these things could be material things that you've worked very hard to put your resources to. I think that all that glitters also, if you've gone through a new beginning and you've gone through a divorce, a separation, a breakup, and if you had to part ways with things, you may have had a hard time with that, holding some resentment. But I think this shows that in your new beginning, with this Four of Coins, that it's okay to let go of money to acquire new things, because you're starting over. So this is a good sign to me. And then finally, you have community. Community is a great card. Rebuild your community. Start to rely on people around you. If your circle's been very big and not tight-knit, I think this is saying to tighten up your circle around you, to encompass yourself with the people that matter most. And things will definitely improve for you. Having those connections with people, like-minded people, is going to serve you well in the month of July going into August. So Gemini, this is a beautiful reading. I really love it. I think you are going to have a great month. I think you may have to do some work, make some choices, some hard choices, to be determined to get out of a stagnant energy, being afraid to move forward. So with that said, if you like this video, leave me a thumbs up, subscribe if you want to hear more from me. And with that, I'm going to bid you farewell and say have a great rest of your day. Thank you.